Alrighty. Mr. Steven, do you want to start us off, my friend?
Crack a cold one.
It's a staple, right? Oh, you can't do it because your nails? That sucks.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of the NGPT podcast. We're sitting here with Courtney Waluk.
Welcome.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Before we really get started, I want to introduce and tell everybody about what we have going on here around the gym within the next couple weeks. We have a nutrition Q&A available for absolutely everyone and anyone, gym members or not, clients or not. At Arc Fitness, we'll be in the back of the room. We'll be in the back of the building at 4 p.m. On September 7th. If you want to come back, have a panel of us trainers answer your nutrition questions. That way you get accurate information from a reliable source and hopefully not just a whole bunch of sources that are conflicting. We'll be back here. A whole bunch of us will be back here to answer questions for you. Everyone and anyone are welcome. Please, if you have any questions at all, by all means, show up. We may or may not be counting it as a pod episode, so we may be uploading it. Not entirely sure just yet.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And if you guys come, please remember there are no stupid questions. So if you have one question, it's more than likely someone else has the same one. So
Right.
yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah, no,
Right.
Ask away. It makes it more fun for us. So all are welcome. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Miss Courtney.
Welcome, Courtney. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, how are you feeling after that training session?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Cool.
Not in too terrible shape. So
Nice. I like the shirt. Good.
thank you. I had to show up representing, of course.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into some Halloween stuff
Perfectly
down
on
the
brand.
road. So
Yeah.
So we kind of want to start off with some of your early years, where you're from. We know you have a sports background. You were athletic growing up.
Yep.
Your father was also a personal trainer, and so you were kind of immediately immersed into fitness from the get-go.
Yep.
And that played a pretty crucial role in your development as an athlete, right? So can you speak to us a little bit what life was like with fitness at the forefront earlier in life and how it impacted you into competitive sports?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have lived in Pennsylvania my entire life. I grew up in Dillsburg, which is about 15 minutes away from Mechanicsburg here. When I was growing up there, it was much smaller of a town, a lot more farmland. It's just like everything around here booming. It's weird to
Definitely
visit.
changed.
It's weird to go back now. So yeah, I lived there all of my life until 2017 when I moved out, and my dad was and is still a personal trainer. So that was a pretty unique intro into the fitness world because I kind of grew up around it. It was just normal, going to the gym, hanging out at the gym, even before I was lifting per se, just being involved in the whole gym atmosphere. So thankfully, I always felt really comfortable in the gym. I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable coming into the gym, but because I was raised in that, it was great. I started lifting when I was 15 and honestly wish I would have done it sooner. This was back when there was a lot of stigma around teenagers or younger kids lifting, and again, now we know that that's all been debunked, and I saw a lot of benefits right out of the gate from lifting just with especially playing sports. I played softball. It made me faster, stronger, more agile. It really set me apart from how I was performing before, but also my teammates. So,
Oh yeah.
and that kind of became a pretty big focus. I remember at the time a lot of my friends were, staying up late on Friday nights, sleeping until 12, 1 o'clock. And my dad had a crew of people that we would get up and work out at Saturday morning. I don't remember what time it was, like maybe 9 a.m., and that just became like the norm. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned wish you would started earlier. I think that kind of echoes what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Specifically, like for me too, I wish I could have started lifting like
Yeah.
junior high, even before.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
what impact did playing softball have on you as a person, from relationships built with your teammates, coaches, and any kind of lessons you learned that you could apply later on in life?
Man, everything. I think sports in general are such tools for growth and learning, especially in the pivotal years. And so I started playing softball. I don't remember when I started playing, maybe 5 or 6, but that's just like the intro. And I started getting very competitively into it when I was 10. I joined a travel team, and so it was like kind of year round. I was playing for rec at the time and travel. We did fall ball, we did all of it. And I hold that time in my life so near and dear to me because it with softball and baseball, it's a unique sport because you get to work as a team atmosphere where you have to be a team player and you all have to perform and show up on the same day, but you also have your own solo accomplishments in that, right? You have your own
Oh, for
batting
sure.
average, you have your own playing field airs and all of that. So, beyond that, I think just learning to work with anybody in a team setting, you learn to win together, but I think more importantly, you learn to lose together sometimes
Right.
and you work hard. And I hold those times in my life so near and dear. I had one weekend off a whole summer. We would do travel like every weekend and we would travel
Jeez.
around but and it was very demanding, but I remember it being just such a great time in my life. And I really hold all those memories very dear. And it's cool to see a lot of my teammates. I keep in contact with a few of them, but they've grown up or they've started families or businesses. And it's so cool to see. It's a very special time of my life.
I was just about to ask if you keep in contact with any people that you played with.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
there's a few. And it's
Yeah.
just one of those things where when you go through something like that with somebody and you're in such a bonding experience, it's like, hey, like we might not talk, but like I will ride for you.
Yeah.
Like I'm
You're still
cheering you
friends.
on from a distance always and wish you absolutely nothing but love. So it definitely shaped a lot of my years.
It's a
So
different kind of friendship. That's
it
for
is.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very different.
So we know that for youth, specifically to prosper in competitive sports, that it requires a lot of sacrifice. And a lot of the times, the family's packing up, you're traveling a lot, a lot of events you're passing up on, family events too. And just the overall general support from your family is important. Talk to us a little bit about how much your parents meant to you during your sports career and how much did they do to ensure that you were able to be competitive and participate?
Yeah. It's not lost on me now as an adult how much sacrifice goes into a child playing a competitive sport. And truly, it's something that when you're a kid, you don't realize. And
Mhm.
I wish I would have said thank you more. I know I didn't say it enough. My parents were what made this whole experience for me possible. My dad, especially, because he was an independent trainer, he
So, but
scheduled a lot of like early afternoons off to make my games and to make practices and all the travel, all the hotels, all the equipment. It adds up. It's crazy. So, and then he actually ended up coaching one of my travel teams for a few years. And that was a cool and also a learning experience with, my father being my coach, but also
being your dad.
I will still tell this story. My dad was the first person to ever bench me because I had a shitty attitude, rightfully so. I was upset about something. And so, but it's a learning experience of, I get to have this bonding with my dad as my coach, but he's also not gonna favor me. And
No way.
it was definitely a huge sacrifice on my parents. All the travel. I mean, when I said one summer off or one weekend off a summer, genuinely, we were all around. And some of them were local, but some of them were, North Carolina for nationals. And it was a lot on my parents. So if you are a younger child and you are listening to this and you play a competitive sport, thank your parents because truly they are the puzzle piece in all of this. They are the ones who wash your uniform. They do everything and it's because they want to see you thrive. And so
Yeah.
it is not lost on me how important they were to me in that time.
Yeah, it's just like looking at the landscape of youth sports nowadays, there's so much pressure.
That's
And
insane.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
felt a lot of that. And, as years go by, that pressure builds and builds for the youth today because, I mean, professional sports are huge. So it's great to have a family that can bond together and do those things and,
absolutely.
fully support you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kind of wild. Even some of the like more seasonal sports now are almost all
Well,
year
yeah, but
round.
it's
Right.
like, okay, we're seasonal, but then we're
Hmm.
gonna have an off season where we're all gonna work out and train together, and we're gonna do
Correct.
practice, we're gonna do
Hmm.
repetitions. So there's really
Hmm.
no rest when you want to play
No.
at a competitive
Yep.
Yeah.
pace. Yeah.
Because there's those travel leagues, like you said. There's AAU leagues. There's
Yep.
indoor soccer leagues
Yep.
for soccer.
Yep. And I
Like
know
it's
personally,
insane.
even when we had like I think 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
It was between like December and before spring started up,
Right.
when we would start doing indoor practice again. And even then it was weightlifting.
Mhm.
I usually met with my hitting coach. Like, again, there's not a lot of rest. So
No.
Yeah.
You're always doing something.
yes.
So what position did you play specifically?
So when I first started out playing softball, I was a pitcher, and I
Mhm.
don't remember exactly what game this was. I think I was around 11 or 12. And as you know, when you're a pitcher, sometimes you're not having a great game and they need to get you the heck out of there, because once you start spiraling, it's not good. So my coach had pulled me from the pitcher's mound and just plopped me in the outfield. It was like a saving grace, like, hey, just go here for a second. And I came in that inning and said to my dad, I never want to go back to the pitcher's mound. I was like, I love the outfield. I love being out there. I fell in love with it. So I played center field then from that point on. I had to pitch one other time in high school. They pulled me in for something. I was a freshman and I was like very not happy about it. I was like, I said, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. But I loved outfield. I loved having so much territory that you were responsible for.
Mhm,
And there's
yeah.
nothing like the sound of the ball off the bat when you know it's coming to the outfield, when you know you have to track it down. It's just, I loved it. So
Mhm.
And
yeah.
apparently you had a cannon for an arm, right?
Yes, it's actually probably ended up being the downfall of me, truly, because then my shoulder ended up hurting. But it's truly one of my favorite stories, just because when you work hard at something and somebody acknowledges it.
Mhm.
We were being scouted by some other coaches because we were going to districts. So again, we're in high school, but these coaches start sitting at your games and they start watching what you do and your every move. And so I guess this coach that we were going to be playing had been watching me at some point in time. And then the game came up where we were playing them. And I was in center field and he had a base runner on, I think, second and first, and then the person batting. Or no, it was just second and the person batting. My bad. And they hit something to the outfield. I fielded it, and the girl was rounding third base that was
He's
on second base
he stopped her, didn't he?
as she was halfway to home. And I still hear this visibly in my head. This is like one of my moments. He yells, "Get back! Center fielder has an arm!" And I just stood there like,
Mad respect.
good
Nice.
call, coach. But
Nice.
also I was like, okay, that was kind of cool. That was
Right.
so yeah. But again, it was those throws though. That's like that. That's why I loved being in the outfield, because
Mhm.
you're making throws from center field to home plate. That's not like a small feat. It's a big deal. And when you nail it and you
Mhm.
get somebody, it's like,
Yep.
it's a high. There's just a rush to it. So
Changes the game because of your ability.
yes, exactly.
Literally.
Because you're not expecting the center fielder to gun you down at home plate,
No.
but we will do it if
Right.
we
Yep.
can. So
And you did it a lot, it sounds like.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, honestly, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So you were named to the Big 15 your junior year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So
Well, first, can you tell me what the Big 15 is?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So the Big 15 is a Penn Live. Essentially, what it is the top 15 players in all of the state across multiple regions, multiple counties. They do a roundup of basically a dream team,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so this is based off of how you did in the year. You're in the newspaper, people start watching you. And so my junior year, I had set out that I wanted it. I wanted to be on that. I wanted to work for it. It was all I wanted. And just a testimony to working hard, because
Yeah.
I would go sometimes from after school high school practice for 2 hours, and then I'd go straight to the gym and then straight to a hitting lesson. Like, I really wanted to make this. And I'll never forget when I got the call from my dad when he was like, they just dropped the Big 15 and you were on it. So yeah, essentially they picked me up as one of the best 15 players in the state, which was just
That's awesome.
Wow.
like, again, it's just it is such a moment when you work really hard for something and it's acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
So that was definitely like the pivotal part of my career for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to be in top 15 in the state of Pennsylvania. It's a huge state.
Yeah.
Thinking about how large the sport of softball is, especially here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was really cool. They rounded all of the team up. So there were 15 of us and we all got to meet each other, and they did a little article piece on each of us, and we all got like a team photo, but we were wearing our high school jerseys. So it was
Yeah.
it was a really cool thing. So,
Were any of the girls from your conference?
no.
No.
I want to say there was a girl from Waynesboro. I could
Okay.
be wrong.
Right.
I do think maybe there was one.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
That's
There was and I
impressive.
also do believe that she was an outfielder as well,
Yeah.
who had a hell of a batting average. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
I think so, if I'm correct on saying that. But I mean, it was one of those things like I remember finishing that year. And again, if you don't follow softball or baseball, these are just numbers to you. It's like
Yeah.
no big deal. But like I finished that year. I had no fielding errors, which is great. I had
impressive.
a total of only 4 strikeouts for the season, which also included our districts. So again, the top of the top, and my batting average was 486. So
Jeez.
again, like something like I set out, like I'm gonna do this, and I will do it, and it was like tunnel vision. It was my only focus. So
486.
Those are video game numbers.
God.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like I remember those numbers because I'm very proud of them.
Yeah.
You should be.
You're literally almost hitting 50% of the balls you're
Right.
throwing.
Exactly.
That's
So I'm like,
insane.
yeah.
Okay. No
Cool.
wonder
So-
you're on that team.
Yeah, you mentioned the wear and tear on your body a little bit. How did that impact your future? Especially as we like transition here out of high school into college, and you decided not to play in college, correct?
I did, yes, correct. And most of that was mostly dependent on the fact that I was having a lot of arm issues at the time. So coming into my senior year, my coach had decided that they were no longer going to have me do practice throws during practice, and that they were just going to reserve my arm for games because at that point my arm had just gotten so painful. Just again, over and over repetitions. I've been doing it for many, many, many years, year round, as we now see. My shoulder was pretty much done, and I think I knew it too. And that coupled with the fact that I remember during the time when a lot of my classmates were applying to colleges, and I knew people who I only applied to this college and this is what I want to do and it's my dream, and I didn't feel that way. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know anything, which again is normal, but
Yeah. Right.
it felt very unnormal at the time. There wasn't a lot of conversation about that at the time.
Mhm.
So that combined with the fact that my shoulder, I had met with a physical therapist who actually really helped me get my shoulder back in track. It was like, if you pick up another 4 years of this, like you're gonna look at shoulder surgery. Like that's just how it's gonna be. I used
Right.
to not be able to literally raise my arm like past here after the season ended. It was just in bad shape. So from repetition and repetition. So yeah, and I think because I went so hard in high school and I went so hard my junior year to make the Big 15, and like I was named to some other all-state things, like I felt satisfied with that hard work
Mhm.
and that career. I didn't, yeah, there's probably still parts of me that are like, man, if I had played in college, but again, my life wouldn't have took the track that it did if I had. So
Right.
no regrets. So yeah.
Was there any interest in moving you from outfield to maybe third so that you could still play but not have to make that hard of a throw consistently?
So there had been some discussions of it,
Yeah.
and truthfully, it was just because I didn't want to.
Yeah. No, that
For a
makes
couple
sense.
reasons. One, I really loved the outfield, and I'm very like when I love something, that's
Yeah.
it. But two, I've also seen some girls get absolutely freaking grilled
Drilled.
at
Ooh, yeah.
third base.
Yep.
I saw a girl actually break her hand one time, and the sound it made, and
Oh, you don't forget that.
no, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
good.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. So, yeah, there was really like, it's so funny too because outfield and infield, they just felt like different worlds. Like
Mhm.
we're all on the same team, but it was like the outfielders were a unit
Yeah.
and the infielders were a unit. And there wasn't really any desire to do that. So,
One of my last years of baseball, I heard from the outfield. I played left field. I heard the batter in the box get drilled by my pitcher in the center of his back, and I was like, "That was my last year of baseball."
it is so
I was done.
weird because this is what I talk about when I talk about like the sound of when the ball hits the sweet spot of the bat or
Oh,
the
yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
There is a sound to everything in that game and you hear it.
It's very distinct.
So when you hear somebody break a bone or, oh God, some of the girls in infield wear face masks.
Yep.
It's something you don't forget.
No way. Jeez.
Yeah, baseball can be pretty scary because that baseball or softball is coming
Yeah.
at you quick.
No,
wild.
thank you. I'm good.
So with softball kind of out of the picture at this point, the next period of your life we kind of want to discuss is with you and Brock. So your relationship, your marriage. When and where did you first meet Brock?
So I met him at New York Fitness, actually, which no longer exists. The building is now Platinum Fitness. And at the time, my dad had been an independent trainer at the Gold's Gym in Camp Hill, which also no longer exists, is now something
Yeah.
else. Are we catching on?
Right. Yeah. They all kind
The
of fall
gyms
apart.
just come and go.
Yeah.
But so my dad was an independent trainer at Gold's at the time, and they had just sold the location to another Gold's Gym owner, but they wanted to get rid of the independent trainers in there. So my dad was looking for somewhere new to train, and he found New York Fitness. I followed him over there. Brock was also independent training there.
Mhm.
And my first interaction with him was I was definitely a little bit of a bitch, but I was also in this period of my life where I call it like my F the world era. Like I think most of us go through one. It's like when we've been burned by somebody or something happens. I just gone through some stuff and I was very much like, nope, like just in general, no. So I was working out with my dad and Brock was training a client who he came up and asked if they could work in. I'm going to become one of those nightmare stories here of you guys when you ask to work people. And I mean, it wasn't that bad, but, and I'm standing there and like just so pissy. My dad answered and was like, yeah, of course. But I'm just like standing there, like, didn't acknowledge Brock or his client, didn't say hello, didn't introduce myself, didn't nothing. And Brock always has a funny perception of that because he's like, that just made me be like,
Right.
So that was my first like actual intro to him. I didn't meet him officially later until I started working at the front desk and we had conversations then.
So I'll skip
I was
past.
nicer then.
So I'll skip past this part here
Yeah.
because my next question was, did you know from the beginning that Brock was the one? So apparently, when you were
Sounds like
letting
the
him
answer's
work in, you were
no.
like, no.
Yeah.
But what about
No.
afterwards?
So I'd say like I was in, we're just going to brand it. It was my F the world era. So I was not even in the thought.
You went in the mind space. Yeah.
I'm not meeting anybody. I'm not. No.
Right.
But I will say when I started working at New York Fitness, it was a couple months later, maybe 5 or 6 months later, I started striking up conversations with him. And from the moment that we started talking, it was very clear to me that there was something very different there. And because I was somebody who never really truly felt super safe with anybody or trustworthy of most people, I felt like there was never a time where I hadn't known him. Even from just getting to know him right off the bat, I felt like I could share things with him that I hadn't shared with others.
Mhm.
We got very close very quickly. So, in that aspect, I would say, yeah, it's like I knew that there was something very different and special there.
That's awesome. So not the initial interaction, but afterwards.
I thought he was mine.
Right.
I don't know if it was like sight for,
Right.
I mean, he was very smitten with me. He'll tell you stories of he's like, I saw you a couple other times then, and I was also working at Cornerstone Coffee House at the time
Nice.
as a barista, and he had a business meeting there one time, and that place gets so busy, so I was not
Right.
noticing anything that was going on. But apparently, he came in and had a business meeting there, and then saw me again. And he was like, "That's the girl from the gym," and but
Nice.
I guess whatever I did, it had an impression.
Right. Unintentionally, it
Yes.
worked.
Right.
That's awesome.
So how long into your relationship did you get married? And how was it being married in New Orleans? That's a special place for you, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we met in 2015, started dating sometime like late 2015, early 2016, maybe. And we got married in 2022. So yeah, it was a really good foundation. There was a lot going on in our lives at the time with, he had previously been married and was going through a divorce. And I also was finding out who I was and growing in and through a lot of different versions of myself. So it was a really good foundation. And when we got married in New Orleans, it was incredible. It holds a lot of special magic to us there. And I'm very into vampire lore, all the weirdo historical stuff. And it was just truly amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How do you feel you guys let me ask it this way. You guys complement each other pretty well. Why or how do you think you guys do that? Like what makes you guys an amazing couple from your perspective?
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
Man, I would say we've we've grown through a lot of versions of each other, both individually and together as a couple. And so I recently saw this quote online and it said, marry somebody that you can suffer with. And to elaborate on that, I think there's not a lot of things that are super guaranteed in this lifetime. But one thing that is guaranteed is that you're going to go through seasons of unexpected change, loss, and discomfort. And I think you should marry somebody who's going to be ready to tap in when that work needs to be done, because when you first meet somebody and you're falling in love and it's new and exciting, and maybe you're graduating from college and you land your dream career and you're getting married and it's adventure and excitement after excitement, it should be easier, right?
Yeah.
But it's those moments when, okay, we couldn't pay our bills this last month, or a family member is sick and dying, or we have to cut back which one of us is selling our car, right? I think there's a lot of people who can make the good days better, but you need to be with somebody who can make the insufferable days bearable. And I think that as a team and as a unit, we do that really, really well.
It
So,
seems like it.
and like
Yeah.
another thing I'll say is, when you're younger and you have something happen to you and you have those like, I want my mom moment, right? Because your mom can fix everything. I feel that way about my husband, which I think is just the biggest thing you could ever ask for. So
Yeah.
I would just have to say that it is awesome seeing you guys together because you guys are just like a perfect match.
thank you.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool to watch you with Justice too.
Thank you. I
Honestly.
appreciate
Like
it.
you guys, that's cool.
Thank
I
you.
like watching that.
I'm just like a
How you guys interact with each other.
cool bonus. Well, it's so funny because I grew up in
Are you going to call yourself a bonus mom?
I'm like a bone. Yeah, we're like, because he has an incredible
Yeah,
mom, right?
right.
So my place with that is just to be
Uh-huh.
a great friend and
Yeah.
like a pair, like, I can
Mhm.
give advice and be there for things and make memories. And
Yeah.
but it's funny because I grew up in a home that was heavily sarcastic. So sarcasm is a love language of mine,
Right.
and Brock really gets it. So it's funny because we'll do it to Justice too, and we'll pick on him so hard sometimes about something, and he'll be like, "What?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh." And we're like, "Yeah, like you didn't know that, yeah, buddy." And like it's so funny. It's just it builds fun character. It
Yeah.
is, and he'll give it right back sometimes. Like
Good.
so,
Yeah. Builds thick skin.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So while we're on the topic of relationships, I want to get your perspective about being part of building this dream of NGPT that Brock, brought on. So you had mentioned that it was kind of a one-man show, right? So this dream has grown from this one-man show into what we see today at Arc Fitness. Can you speak on some of the difficulties, as well as some of the success stories during this time, and how you both support each other to keep forging ahead, even through like difficult times? Because running a business obviously is not easy.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brock started NGPT in 2015. So, and he had this idea and this vision of, I mean, really, the idea and the vision really sounded a lot like what he has today now, like a team of trainers. And, but there's a lot that from that point to the next point. So I will just say he's a leader by example, really, because I watched this man for years and years and years get up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, work all day till 10 o'clock at night, taking 15-minute naps in his car in the gym parking lot, and then come home and do more continued education and listen to more podcasts and read more books. And so it's really cool to see it flourish. There's been a lot that's gone into it. And so right before kind of it's grown into what it's become now, we went through a pretty scary moment where he was independent training. It was still next generation personal training, but again, it was a one-man show for the most part. He had kind of taken on Yo at the very end then. So Yo was the first trainer, but again, still very new, and New York Fitness was being sold to somebody else. And again, just like we found out in the beginning with my dad, they were like, the independent trainers either need to leave or the deal that they were going to give us was crazy. Right.
Yeah.
So, and that was really scary because we were like, this is how we pay our bills. Right. This is, and now we also have another trainer on board. So that just magnifies, and that's only one. Like, I can't imagine how it would feel now with, you
14.
yes.
Yeah.
So, and that was a scary moment because it's like, where are we going to go? What are we going like, what's the next progression for NGPT? Again, ended up being the biggest blessing, but sometimes you have to go through those really dark valleys and you got to sit there for a hot minute before things start to climb. So it has been a journey. It's been a really good one, and it definitely has its hardships. We took on a lot of debt, business and personal debt, to get here, and we are still in the thick of like dealing with that and paying that off. And I will never forget Brock telling me when we were talking about all of this and ARC was kind of coming to be, he was like, it's gonna be a wild 5 years. You want to come along for the ride? And now we know, like, 5 years turns into maybe it's gonna be a wild 10 years. Maybe it will always be wild, but it will be impactful and it will be worth it. And so it's really been surreal to kind of zoom back and watch it all.
Right.
Because I watched him for years, just him. So yeah.
Is it wrong to say that there's never a dull moment?
There really is never a dull moment, and I also will
Yeah.
say now, I jokingly will tell my family it's almost like we adopted a football team of trainers, like,
Right.
They eat like it
because
too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
because, it's crazy, and, there's always something going on with somebody,
Right.
and somebody's got a phone call, and this issue, and this client, and we gotta do but again, it's been such a learning process, and I'll tell you in the 3 years that we've been here and ARC's been in business, how much we've learned and refined each year. It's
Right.
been crazy. So never a dull moment. Some smack your head against the wall moments, and then some like jumping for joy moments. But I think that's part of being a business owner. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
So when you first heard about the possibility of ARC opening and NGPT kind of partnering with that, what was kind of going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, that's interesting because we're not third party trainers anymore. Like, our training company is a part of this gym. Like,
Yes.
you don't have that deal that, is in jeopardy of being restructured
Right. It's like
crazily.
you're safe here.
Right. Exactly.
This is a community that's been built intent with
Right.
this.
Yep.
So again, very special time in our lives. I remember meeting with Hannah and Noah, and we met a lot with them. And then John, which, I know you guys are going to have him on here. We met a lot, with a lot of dinners, a lot of just bouncing around ideas, a lot of, I would say, dreaming and willing it into existence. Because as you guys heard from Noah's testimony, there are just some things that, like, how did we get here? How did certain things fall in place? It was like we all willed it to happen, right? And it
Right.
was pieces of this puzzle that came together. And I remember it being, definitely probably a little bit of an uncertain time, but I don't remember that being at the forefront. I remember being excited and again, seeing it take form. I don't think I ever really pictured it being this wonderful, this massive, this incredible. Like, we're sitting in our cycle studio now inside of ARC, this amazing facility. But again, it's just a testament to the sacrifices that, Hannah, Noah, Brock, and I, and John, and all of us have made, and the hard work, and not being turned away by, okay, do we have the qualifications for this? Do we because, like,
Mm.
obviously Brock has the qualifications for the training, but, like, do we know how to run something of this scale? We're gonna find out.
Right.
We are gonna do it.
You're gonna
So
learn.
yeah.
The perfect
It's
example of having faith, right? Every one of you
exactly.
guys stepped out and had faith.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
couldn't get a better group of people together to turn it into what it is today. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
And I remember I was still a full-time nanny at the time, the whole way through until just shortly after ARC opened in August. I think September was my last month nannying, and, like, I know Brock and Noah were here all the time,
Mm-hmm.
laying flooring, and then we had an amazing crew of people who even volunteered to help laying flooring. And so, like, I would work my full-time job and then sometimes come here to help lay flooring. And I know Hannah was, doing nails at the time. So there was just so much going on, and we definitely did not sleep a lot during this period of time in our life. But
Right.
again, worth it. So
Absolutely.
Wow.
Cool. So
Okay.
I want to transition a little bit into your fitness life, your journey. Fun fact, many of you guys may not know, is Courtney actually competed in fitness, right? Back in 2015.
in a figure competition.
Yep, figure.
It's deep from the archives right there.
Yep.
I remember seeing the pictures of you back. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
When was the moment that you knew you wanted to try to step on stage?
So back to my F the World era, I had gone through a pretty heinous breakup with somebody who had eaten up a lot of time of my life, unfortunately. And I was already deeply immersed in the fitness world, and I already knew a lot of people who had competed. And I quite literally just needed something to throw myself into. That was kind of the whole basis for competing for me. Again, in hindsight, probably not the best reason to compete, but I needed something to throw myself into. I needed something to
Work for.
Yes, I needed something to work for. I needed something to eat up my days, to commit to. And so I made the decision one day and I was like, I'm going to do it. And that was it.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
yeah.
What was the process of prep like for you? I know prep is very difficult. What were some of the most difficult times for you?
Yeah. So I was working with a coach at the time and it wasn't Brock.
Not yet.
Going to specify that.
Right.
I did end up later working out and lifting with Brock during my prep, but he was not responsible for doing my posing or my nutrition or any of the legwork of that. And unfortunately, due to misinformation, uneducation, the times, I suffered a lot throughout my prep unnecessarily that I really shouldn't have. And it's just unfortunate. It's a great thing now that we have so much more knowledge. But again, I went in, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it everything that I have and I'm not going to quit. So when I say like I suffered unnecessarily, there wasn't flexible dieting in my meal plan. There wasn't fitting your macros and making it work. There wasn't I didn't even have a damn Diet Coke the entire prep. Why? Because there's no reason I couldn't have. Why? Because my coach at the time was like, no, don't have that. Like when it again, just suffered unnecessarily. We pulled water at the end. Like I was sucking on ice cube, like just again, things we know now, like don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
But didn't know at the time. So again, it was a really special process watching your body go through this transformation and the confidence you gain from that. In hindsight, I really wish that I would have had a better coach and known more because again, it doesn't need to be like that.
Right. Doesn't have to be absolutely miserable the entire time.
Yeah.
The
And
last 2 weeks.
have a Diet Coke if you
Right.
need one. Just have one.
Yeah.
So on show day, when you were getting ready to step on stage, I kind of want to get a sense of what your emotions were. Were you feeling nervous? Were you chill? What was going on in your head?
I was pretty calm. I'm not somebody who gets super, super nervous for no reason other than I just never really have. I didn't do any sort of training for that. I just don't. But I remember somebody had told me the day before my show, they were like, think of this as you graduating high school, right? Like you did the work, you put in the credits. You're just there to get what's yours. You're there to show up and show off what you did and get what's yours. And so I went into that day like that mentality. Like work is already done. My body is how it's going to be. It's prepped, it's ready to go. Not a lot of changes I'm going to make from now to then that are going to make it any better.
Right.
So it was really just showing up and I had an incredible support team with, Brock was there, my dad, a lot of people from the gym that knew me and followed me on social media. So it was cool because distinctively still remember hearing my dad and Brock cheering for me from the crowd, which is a cool thing. So I remember going up there and just having fun. And I think that also made my stage presence different than other people's because I saw some videos and I looked like I was having fun.
You were more relaxed.
So I was happy. I was smiling. And you see some of them get up there and I know it's real serious and it's, you don't want to blow it, but some of them forget to crack a smile and they don't look, just
Right.
I think I just had fun with it.
Yeah.
So
I've never really heard that approach to walking on stage, but that's a
Yeah.
good way to go about
but
it.
I was like,
that.
yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like
Right.
the work that went into this is already over. I'm here
Yeah.
to just showcase. So
Yeah.
And I can't control who shows up that day, right?
Exactly.
So
No.
I'm here to show off what I have.
Yeah.
So
Your package.
Yep.
Were you happy with the physique you brought on stage?
I was very, very happy with it. Again, going through prep kind of really morphs your brain a little bit in sometimes not a great way. So I would have said, oh, I wish I would have had 3 more weeks. I didn't need 3 more weeks.
Hmm.
I really didn't. I was ready. I was as ready as I was going to be. You know, I wish that maybe I had trained my abs a little more in early development so I had some more ab structure. But again, what are we going to do about that? Um, yeah, it was, I was like, oh, I wish I had more time. But now looking back, I'm like, no, you had nothing left to get. What more is going
Right.
to fall off of you? Like, so. And then for my placing, I was super happy with it. I competed in true novice, and my class was, I think, C. And then I think was there a difference between true novice and novice at the time? I don't think.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I competed in another one too that was like maybe it was
Another category.
another category. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was at the time, but I got 2 first place and a second and it was at the Lehigh show. So
That's
I
a
mean,
big
it was
show.
a big show even then. I had
That's
like
awesome.
at least
impressive.
24 girls in some of those groups. So
Wow.
yeah, I was super happy with it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we know the aftermath was probably pretty difficult for you from the sounds of it, right? So trying to recover from a show is just quite difficult anyway.
Yeah.
What was that process like for you, and what were some of the, I guess, the most challenging, kind of hardest times to get through during that?
Yeah. Again, because there wasn't a lot of knowledge going into we didn't have a plan coming out of.
Right.
And that is disastrous.
Yep.
We now know for prep.
Yeah.
There was no plan coming out of my show. So I was so laser beamed on this finish line, this finish line, this finish line. The finish line came
What now?
and I fell apart. Like, what now? I don't see a purpose. I don't see a point. I'd almost put way too much of my identity into it. I was like, what now? And I had a really hard time because we didn't have a plan, so we didn't reverse diet. So can't recommend it. I went through a lot of issues, a lot of digestive issues. I went through a period of time where, like, if I ate a single potato chip, my stomach would distend so badly because I didn't reverse diet properly. I just went into eating whatever the hell I wanted that I hadn't been able, again, because I was severely restricted throughout my prep. So I was
Yeah.
like, I want pancakes. I want this. I want that. And I didn't have a plan. So I just went into it. So again, a lot of bounce back on my body for that. And then mentality wise,
It's a huge
I
shift.
crashed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, your prep body is not attainable for a day to day,
No
but
way.
watching yourself come out of it and not having a plan, because the plan is the point. I completely stopped lifting for 3 months after my show because I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So it was definitely very hard on me.
I think that's what a lot of people don't realize too. Being a competitor is the recovery plan is actually probably more important than almost anything,
Yep.
right? And
Yeah.
coming back and like resetting your body to a good
Yes.
point.
Because this is a massive thing to put your body through at any age.
Oh
And
yeah.
again, no plan just is a disaster. So I went through and I developed a lot of problems with food because of that whole experience. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's documented. Like if I don't know if a lot of people talk about that too much, but like one of the girls that I used to talk to, we used to date for a little while. She had
sorry.
right. She had a horrible bounce back from her first show. She did really well. She absolutely crushed it. She looked fantastic on stage, but like afterwards, she had a horrible relationship with food.
Yeah.
Her mentality struggled. Her effort levels in the gym were never there to that extent.
Yeah.
And she had a really hard time. She
Yeah.
tried to compete again, but like, I don't know that it ever worked out. And just, it wrecked her really
Yeah.
bad. So
I quite literally became a binge eater, like
Yeah.
to a heavily extent where I wouldn't eat a single thing all day. And then at 9 or 10 o'clock,
Shovel it.
I would just,
yeah,
until you feel sick or you
Yep.
get sick. And it was really bad. So, but
Oh.
again, that came from not having the knowledge and plan that,
right.
yeah, is so dumb.
I wonder how many people that still happens to. I really hope it doesn't happen to many because we have
So I
so much
hire a
more
better
knowledge
coach.
now.
Hire a better coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
So you
Not somebody
mentioned,
with
you
zero
mentioned
advice.
it took like 3 months to kind of get back into the gym.
Yes.
Right.
So, yep.
Um, how did it, how long did it take you from that point forward to actually feel like you wanted to enjoy working out again and make that a part of your life?
It's sad. It's real sad to say, but like years,
Yeah.
years. It took years. I continued to go back to the gym then after that 3 months hiatus because the gym was such a routine part of my life and I grew up with it. So I did it out of discipline, but I wasn't in it. I wasn't,
Yeah.
passionate about it. Again, I didn't have the mentality for it. It took me years and years to find a good groove. I would honestly almost say until we opened ARC that I actually feel like I'm happy with my training and with my workouts.
And when was your show?
2015.
Okay.
So-
So until
10
about
years ago, right?
2022,
Yeah.
you weren't
Yep.
really.
Yeah. Like again, but that's like and this is when I'm so sensitive about someone who's like, you did a show. I want to do a show because I want to look that good. And I'm like,
Right.
pause, stop, drop, roll away quickly. Like you have to have a really strong why going into it. And you also have to have a really strong coach and plan and knowledge. And it's
Yep.
not something to mess around with because like I had developed so many issues from it.
It's
So,
also not. It's super important to make sure that people understand that that's not maintainable.
no,
The
it's not.
way that you look on stage, male or female, is not how you should look walking around day to day.
No,
It is it is unhealthy.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
just a snapshot.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Those, I would say 2 weeks before and after show are like,
I looked like a zombie.
right. They're not healthy.
I was
for
working at
anybody.
Cornerstone and people used to make comments to me all the time that didn't know I was doing a show. I think they thought like I had an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
because you don't look.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not healthy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you mentioned your fitness journey here at ARC.
Yep.
So what are your goals today as far as training, nutrition, just your fitness in general? And I know since ARC is open, it's been 3 years now that you've kind of been working with trainers here.
Yeah.
Can you kind of dive into that and what that process has been like for you?
Yeah. I think in every sense of the phrase, ARC has really become everything that I think all of us really wanted it to be. It's a community, true and through, for anybody of any walk of life with any fitness goal to come here and feel supported and safe. And like there's knowledge available to you, right? And
God, yeah.
so that's how I feel in here now is, my fitness journey has changed so much over the years. It's ebbed and flowed. And really after losing myself for so long, I came into this, I just want to honor my body. So does that mean sometimes I come in here and like I'm not pushing PRs? I'm okay with that. Did I come in? Did I move my body? Do I try to live a healthy lifestyle, So that's more what my goals are now, my goal was to lose a little bit of weight. I did lose like 25 pounds this year so far.
Yep.
Which is great. And
Super proud of you.
thank you. And so like my focus is kind of shifting. I just really want to at all times always just stay true to honoring whatever my body needs. And going forward in life, like, because we want to grow our family, I want to be in a good place to do that. Hence why I wanted to lose weight. And, I got a little bit more to go, but, so that's kind of my focus is not being so hell bent on having a goal per se, like down to the last detail of like, I don't have to be this weight or this, what, like, yeah, you should have an idea, but I want to feel good. I want to feel like I look good and I want to move my body.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about to me. And I want to derive substance from the way that I move my body too. I don't want to just
Yeah.
come in and like beat the shit out of it because,
Just because.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
want to come in and like, okay, so I'm doing cycle today or, oh, I have like, I want to enjoy it.
Has to be for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. It's also kind of important and I don't know that most people know this, but like as you proceed through having a kid and pregnancy, the better shape you're in, the easier that's going to be, and the faster you're going to rebound and
Yes.
look
Yep.
the way you were beforehand.
Yep. 100%.
Like there's some fantastic examples of that in this gym, and it is awesome to
I know
see.
Ashley, our one friend who's
Mhm.
been in here for cycle when she had her son, like she took my class. I think her due date was like 2 days later.
Really?
And I was like, you're a freaking rock star.
Right.
You are goals.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, having a baby isn't a
hell yeah to the
stop
women.
working out kind of thing. Yeah,
That's
right.
Sorry, I have to eat 3 extra meals and lay in bed and watch Love Island.
Right. Not necessarily.
Guys, I do want to say, like, for those of you who don't know, you work with myself and Micah.
Yep.
And you did work with Yo in the past too, correct?
Yep.
Just the progress you made this year has been incredible, and
Thank
I
you.
just want to say I'm super proud of you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for always dealing with my craziness.
And even days you don't feel like training, you show up, you still move your body.
Yep.
That's super important.
I think it's the honesty factor of it too. Like how many times I will come in and I will just tell you like, hey, like I didn't get enough sleep, or hey, like I just started my cycle, or my foot's bothering me today. Can we I'm just gonna be transparent in the way that I show up here is like, hey, like I'm not gonna move mountains today, but I do want to move, and can we do this instead of this?
right.
Yeah.
So
You're still doing something.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're also in your stomping grounds here, Cycle, right? So
Pretty sure your name is back there in pink. Yeah.
yep, it's back there somewhere.
I know it haunts me because I'm like, I could have done better handwriting.
Don't worry, I look at mine up there too all the time.
So when the idea of NGX Cycle came about, what made you just decide that you wanted to become an instructor?
So this is a funny story because I had never taken a cycle class before, ever. Yeah, you heard that right.
I think
Ever.
Micah told me that.
Ever. In fact, there used to be a crew that used to go take classes with Micah when she was at H2L teaching. And they would always be like, do you and Brock want to come? We'd be like, sorry, we have to organize our sock drawer. Sorry, I have to be literally anywhere else. I can't come. I'm so sorry. I'm not able to. But when the idea of cycle came up, and it didn't hit me right away, I don't know, something inside of me was like, this is a little uncomfortable, but I want you to try to pursue it. And that's like the best thing that I can say was I went into this, I didn't know anything about cycle. I had never cycled, but I was like, I want to do this. And thankfully, we have Micah, this is quite literally her stomping ground. She's been doing it for so long. And she graciously decided to take me on and a bunch of other people who, again, had never done it before and poured into us and watched us thrive. And it's been really, really awesome. So, and my first time on the bike, by the way, funny, came back here for like 20 minutes with Micah. We were like finishing a training session. She's like, I just want to get you on the bike, figure out if you like it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why I walked in here thinking I was going to be like a damn rock star because
you probably
went
died
so hard and I literally got sick to my stomach and I had to get off the bike and sit down. It was so embarrassing. But
Thankfully,
again, I
it was
was
just
like,
you too.
Kinda
lean
reminds me-
into this. You're uncomfortable. Lean in. Like, so again, I always tell people, like, don't go in this like ease.
Yeah, it reminds me of my first time doing cycle in Micah's class, and
Because you lift and you think, I got this.
first 5 minutes
Nope.
I was
No.
Nope. It is a different kind of
Yep.
shape.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome though that you can also include your love of music in it. I think that is also very appealing.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part about being a cycle instructor?
My favorite, man, I love a lot of things about being in here. And yes, it's fun to choose music and it's fun to get to share music you love and it's fun to write drills. And it's great when you have a crew of people in here and the energy is amazing, right? But for me, it's when someone comes in and I always say, like, I'm not going to ask you to check your demons at the door. So I want this to be a space where you can show up with whatever you have to show up with and whatever you have to carry, and we can work it out together. And I love working hard and digging deeper with somebody who's going through that. There's nothing like that. I came in here a couple times when I was going through some really hard stuff this year, and I cried on the bike but I want that to be a space where everyone can do that. So yeah, I think that's what I love most about it is that, again, you have your own console, you have your own whatever weight you have on there, it's yours, and whatever you have to work out or whatever you're carrying that day, you can bring it in here and feel a little less alone.
Yep.
Do you find it a bit therapeutic?
I do.
Yeah.
I do find it very therapeutic.
Right.
There's been times where like I'll play certain songs and I start to say things while I'm teaching and like I get choked up and
Right.
it's powerful. Music is powerful. Exercise is
I was
powerful.
gonna say it's a combination of
And
the
when you
two.
have the community with it,
Right.
yeah, it is really
Yeah. A
impactful.
group of people in here working hard. That's
Yeah.
that's
They all
awesome.
do work hard too. See them walking out after classes in the mornings.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
insane.
For those of you who don't know what times and days that you do cycle classes, can you kind of let the audience know when they can find you?
Yes, so we have a class that is it's open to the public as well, but it was built around the Mechanicsburg Area School District because they wanted to do something for their teachers. So shout out to them for caring about that.
Yeah,
So
100%.
that's on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. during the school year, and then during the summer it shifts to an earlier time. So during the summer it was Monday at 9:30, but now we're back at 4:30, and then Fridays at 9:30 in the morning, and they're both 45-minute classes.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So moving into our last talking point here, we're going to talk a little bit more about some spooky season, fashion, kitties, personal growth, some fun things.
Heck yeah.
Um,
My favorite.
if you guys don't follow Courtney on Instagram, you should. She has some awesome posts just on fashion, horror stuff, amazing things like that. So you always have some of the best fashion reels, and we see the passion in the quality of the content. How fun is it for you to share that with others?
I love it. I always joke and say it's kind of just me getting on camera and acting a fool, and I enjoy it. I just
You have fun with it.
yeah, I genuinely love doing it. And so I think when you show up in spaces where you enjoy what you're doing, it kind of shines through.
Yep.
So I have a lot of fun doing it. I'm always tickling my brain of, oh, I had an idea for this outfit and I'm gonna wear this with this. And Brock hears it all the time. So
Yeah.
I have a
Right.
lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Gives you an outlet for your creativity too.
Yes.
Right.
Besides just in the gym space,
Yeah.
which is important.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This may be an impossible question to answer, but what is your favorite vibe or type of outfit to wear?
I'm a mood dresser or like a dopamine dresser. Like I'm all over the place. I will say I am very drawn to things that are a little bit more chaotic, pattern mixing. I'm a big like mix silver and gold, mix stripes in a different flower pattern. I don't care. Like I'm very into it's chaotic and it feels like something people wouldn't naturally gravitate to, and that's what I gravitate to. So I always love that. Brock has a joke that we'll go into a store and it could be like a thrift store. It could be like he'll be like, "This is the ugliest clothing store you've ever been in, and you'll find something that you like in here."
Right.
It's true
Yeah.
because it's subjective. So
Mhm. Absolutely.
Where do you see yourself going with the fashion and content that you do now in the future? I know you mentioned you used to run a fashion blog for a period of time. Maybe dive into how that started and what led you into like maybe quitting that, because I know it
yeah,
got tough for you, right?
yeah. So I'll start with the fashion blog stuff. I ran a fashion blog. It was called Courtney's Closet for any of you who remember. And I started it in 2019 and it ran through like mid to late 2020. And
Mhm.
I never really like officially announced that I was canceling it or stopping it. I just very gradually and slowly just completely gave up on it. And the reason behind that was, uh, again, you have these voices in your head, right? And they sometimes they get really loud and the more you feed them. And I had these voices that were like, it's almost imposter syndrome, right? I didn't go to college for fashion. I didn't have all of the resources to just spend everything that I could on fashion. And who was I to say this or that? And I started the compare game and it just kind of ate at me over and over and over again. And I just completely talked myself out of that space. And I think what's really unfortunate is I had a lot of people in my life speaking positive things into me about that space, right? And I think it goes to show that sometimes it doesn't matter how many people you have speaking the right things in your like if you're not ready to receive it,
Mhm.
You're not going to hear
you're
it.
not going to hear it.
Right.
Yeah. So and yeah, it kind of faded off into the distance and I never really said anything about it and I just quietly gave up on it. So and then opening that door again took a couple years. I think I posted my first fashion reel again in January. It might have been 2024. So like not it was
Yeah.
years, and I had to come around on my own into the space of wow, I'm missing this creativity. I'm missing sharing this outlet. I want to show up here. How do I do it? And so answering the question of like, what's my goal? What's my purpose? I think I don't really have one anymore, except for that I want to show up in this space and be authentic. And I can't, what I can't afford to do anymore is care what other people might think about it or care what
Good
because
job.
it costs too much, right? Because I stifled off parts of myself and made myself smaller and took things away from myself that I really enjoyed. Why? Because I was worried that somebody wouldn't like an outfit that I wore. Like who gives a shit, right? And so I think my outlook now is it's great to work with some local brands or some brands that I really like their products and I believe in their mission and stuff, but I'm not super big on sharing link after link after link or anything. For me, it's more of an inspiration. It's the people who message me and they're like, I never would have thought to put those two things together, but I did after you. Or the mom who messaged me who said she was so lost in her postpartum body, but I gave her the courage to get dressed that day. Like it's those things that it's like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, so my focus now is just to not stifle off that part of me and to show up in this space. And, I've gotten to make some great connections and I've had people say things to me about things that I posted that have meant a lot. And so, like, wherever it takes me at this point, I'm good.
Yeah, I think the main thing you talked about is fun, having fun with it, right? And
Yes.
that's
Yeah. Like,
supersedes all.
honestly, who cares? Like,
Right.
I used to get so worked up about, like, because you can see if people share your reel and what if this person sent this to this and said this, like, what?
Why even think
It's
about it?
insanity to
Mhm.
care like that,
Yep.
right? And
I completely agree.
it costs way too much. So
Yeah.
who cares?
And if it stops you from doing something that you enjoy, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like it's
And I
not worth
think
to think like that.
like, again, people need to go where they're passionate about things,
Mhm.
right? So, like, there are people on the internet who are passionate about things that maybe I'm not passionate about them, but I'm never gonna down on them because you can see it lights them up. They're happy about it. Like
Right.
everybody is put here to share something or to do something different. So again, just not making yourself small.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. That's fair.
So I brought up your shirt earlier, right?
Yeah.
So you are a huge horror fan into Halloween. I want to start with this. You mentioned a video scaring the floor as a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. My dad must have it somewhere. It's like probably on an old There's like those camcorders that they used to record with. I don't know. You probably don't even remember that at all.
I had one. Hand me down.
And my dad had this mask. It was, I think, a devil mask of some sort. And I had put it on, and I think I was like 4 or 5, maybe younger. And so I put the camcorder on the floor and I just ran around in circles with my face down the camcorder, just like this. And I was like, I'm scaring the floor. I'm scaring the floor. And like, I just was having fun with it. So that became like such a topic of conversation for my family was like, oh, we're scaring the floor. And that was, again, a little bit of an intro to Halloween and horror and kind of building that relationship for me.
Yeah. Imagine
That's
somebody
so
finding
funny.
that one, popping that one in the VHS.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I do request that maybe he tries to track that down.
Oh, that
But
would be awesome.
Right.
yeah, so
I know we get to talk a lot about horror movies during our training sessions. I want to ask you what your top 3 to 5 horror movies are. I know this might be impossible too.
this is a crappy question for me. But I also want to start by saying that like I love horror and Halloween because I just love the concept that you can wake up any day and just decide whatever the hell you want to be. And it's not that dense, right? You can just
Mhm.
dress up and just be whatever you want to be and it's fun. And okay, so I feel like I was built by some of the classics. So I gotta give the initial nod to like the original Halloween because it built the foundation for so much more. Yes.
Mhm.
And Scream, the original Scream, gotta give that one again. I have a lot of memories with my mom used to love horror movies too and watching a lot of horror movies growing up. So those two for sure. I'm a big fan of Jennifer's Body, which is like a cult classic.
Yeah, that's
You can't not love
interesting.
Jennifer's
Yeah.
Body. It's just you
Mhm.
have to. And I think the 2008 Strangers movie is probably one
good
of
one.
the best, like, still to this day has the best recipe for a horror movie, I think, ever. And then last one I'll share, if I had to choose, I love the Joyride movies. I know they're a little,
Okay.
I don't know how you would some might call them trash horror, but I really liked them. And so I watched them with my mom for the first time, and we used to live in this. It was like it's called Old York Road in Dillsburg, but there's not a lot of neighbors nearby. And across the street, we had this like abandoned farm building that was used for storage or something or whatever. And I will never forget the first time we watched the Joyride movie. My mom and I then looked out across the street, and there was a freaking tractor trailer that had parked across the street, which if you don't know Joyride, it's about like a tractor trailer guy and he's talking on the intercom. And it sat there for like 3 days after we watched that movie. So it just became this fun, spooky, oh my God. And so I have a lot of memories from those.
About to be moving out of that house.
No Conjuring? Not a fan?
You know, I do.
That's interesting.
I love the Conjurings. I think I'm definitely more of a nod to slasher style horror. I really do like paranormal, but they almost never make my top.
Right.
They don't make my top. Like, I think I love the Evil Deads.
Okay.
They're phenomenal, but they just don't make when I want to pop on a horror movie, they don't usually make the cut.
Right.
So
that's fair.
They're very well done though. And I will be going to see the new one very soon.
I want to, yeah.
So you have a full horror sleeve, right?
Yes.
So I know Kyle at Ghost Gallery did all of that, correct?
Yes, he did.
Can you describe some of the pieces you have on here?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started planning this sleeve, I only had 2 pieces, and one of them was I saw somebody had a Frankenstein on their hand, and I was like, I've got to have that. Okay, must have. So I have Frankenstein on my hand, and then I have a larger portrait up here of Kate Beckinsale as Celine from Underworld, and then a smaller portrait of her with her gun from the Underworld movies, which, again, I'm a vampire girl. I love that shit. And then I have Bride of Frankenstein on my forearm, which just goes right into the Frankenstein. And then on the internal arm, I have actually, this is the newer Scream mask, the texturized one, because I really like that. And then I have a Michael Myers mask, which actually is from one of the Rob Zombie ones, because I am a big fan of the Rob Zombie remakes. So Rob Zombie, if you happen to listen to this, I'm a fan of your work.
Yeah, Rob.
Rob Zombie, I love your work. Okay. So yeah, and shout out to Kyle. We do have to just finish blacking out my elbow and then doing a little voodoo human teeth necklace thing from American Horror Story, and then we are done.
I know how excited you were to finally get your hands on.
I know. I have been like, and it was so funny. Kyle, I went to him. I was like, I just can't wait for my hand. And he's like, we got a whole ass arm to do.
Right.
You better. And I was like, I know. So when I finally got the hand, I was like,
right. Very proud. That's awesome. There's a theme around here. It's massive tattoos and literal sleeves everywhere. I need to catch up.
Tattoos are trashy.
Yeah, you got a lot of catching up.
Yeah.
A lot.
Half my body.
You got a full canvas.
Literally.
So the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on was something that's near and dear to your heart, or your kitties.
Yeah.
You have 2 currently, correct? What are their names?
So I have Duncan and Skade.
Okay. Spade is the new one you recently got, correct? Yes.
Say it right.
Skade.
Yes, Skade is the new one that I got.
I know you had a little challenge trying to get those 2 to coexist, correct?
Yes. So Duncan he's a ragdoll. He's my angel baby. He is quite literally the most perfect cat. Like, I'm not just saying that. He is the ideal cat. He's wonderful. He's sweet. He's very affectionate for a cat, and he's beautiful. So he's my non-problematic child. And then I adopted Skade, who, I should have known because she used to live outside, like amongst trash and stuff. So she's spicy. And I adopted her because we all need a second or third chance in life. And man, she put me through the ringer for a while. She just had a deep distrust of other animals, which was a very large problem because, again, I was like, this is Duncan's home. He needs to feel safe here. I wanted him to have a friend. And I was like actually ready to call it quits because it had gotten so stressful for me. And thankfully, Brock talked me out of it and we hung in there. And now she is thriving. She's doing amazing. She used to not even look at him from down the hall without hissing and acting like literally like something from The Conjuring. She's great now and she's so affectionate and she's coming out of her shell. And yeah, I'm really happy we stuck it in there with her. So
it's cool. I know how stressful that was for you because I know we had a few sessions during that time where you would come in and you'd be like very stressed about it. So I'm glad that
it's like, Steven, this is happening with the cats.
Yes.
You can't hack squat today.
Yeah. Don't even ask me any questions.
Right. We're just going to sit here and chat.
Right.
I know So speaking of your cats, I know you had a very rough season earlier in the year because you did lose one of your cats. Can you tell us a little bit about that cat?
Yes. So his name is Mocha. He's also a ragdoll cat. Him and Duncan were a duo pair. So they had the same dad, but different moms. And they were 9 months apart. So they've been together pretty much their entire lives.
Mhm.
And so we very unexpectedly lost Mocha. And that was very, very hard in general for anybody who's ever owned and loved a pet. You know, it's really groundbreaking. And
Yep.
I think it was really hard for me to go from like, it was always like the boys, they're the boys to like, oh, it's just Duncan and, you know, Duncan and Mocha, they go so perfectly together. So that was, it was very, very, very hard doing that.
Yeah. I know it's just been personally in your life, you've had some loss. Here at ARC, we've had some loss.
Yeah.
How have all these things that have taken place this year made you grow as a person?
Yeah. So it's been, and it's not lost on me that I'm pretty blessed to say that, you know, I'm turning 30 this year and I hadn't really experienced loss to this degree until this year. So in itself, that is a blessing. But in this year, we've had a lot of loss really short. You know, we lost Mocha unexpectedly. And then, you know, if you're a part of the gym community, we obviously lost Ron, who was very, very near and dear. And then one of our trainers lost his battle to depression. And we also lost Brock's brother this year unexpectedly, too. So it was like hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. And I think the best thing that I can say about it is I was somebody who I've gone through a lot of different versions of myself, as I said. And growing up, I always was very, you're never going to see me cry. I'm a hardened shell. My dad used to always say, she's not going to cry over what you think she's going to cry. She's going to cry 3 months later over like a broken hair tie or something, but it's going to be about a lot more. And so when I entered into this journey of grief, which I'm still very much in, I think it's normal to be like, I'm still in the thick of
Mhm.
this. I just wanted to use this as a tool to be more vulnerable and to be able to connect with people and to share more. And so I'll always say, like, I feel like I hit the floor. Like, I feel like I was on my knees on the floor throughout this grief journey. And everybody in life is always so focused on the next thing. If I can just do this, or once this happens, or once we pay this off, or once I get this, and it's always the next thing. So I really wanted to focus on why don't I just get really good at being grateful? Like, from my knees. Like when I'm down bad. Like why don't I just get really good at being down here and then not being so worried about getting up and what comes next, right? And through that process I've been able to learn a lot about myself. I've been able to nurture a lot of grief wounds but also other like trauma wounds that have made themselves apparent to me. And so I think, you know, and just I'll always say, like, I succumb to the grief now whenever it comes. So, like, if that means that I'm in Target and I have to put my cart back because I need to go cry in the car, like, I'll do it. If that means I cry myself to sleep, I'll do it. I lived so much of my life trying to be this external, like, nothing bothers me, nothing gets to me, and it's bullshit. So there's power in being like, oh, hey, I'm not okay, and somebody else is not okay, and maybe there's a connection point for that, right? So it's just been really a lot. I've changed dynamically as a person in the way that I show up in the day to day and the way that I show up in all of my relationships.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. So and again, I hate like you're not like, oh, I hate to say everything happens for a reason because there's a lot of senseless tragedy, but I think you can take something from everything and you can use it somehow.
There's always a lesson to be learned.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yes.
And life
Mhm.
is short,
And sometimes we might learn those lessons kicking and screaming, but
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
learned anyway, hopefully.
yeah. So
So last thing I wanted to touch on was what does the future of Courtney look like? I know you have quite a bit of passions, fashion, music, all that stuff.
Yep.
What do you want to pursue? What places do you want to visit? And what things would you like to experience?
yeah, man, it's like,
Hopefully Brock's listening.
yeah, um,
Right?
just kind of, it's like unwritten. Like I'm open to. I think my goal is just to continue to find more of myself and grow more of myself and be a more authentic person. And so, you know, that includes growing cycle, that includes continuing to grow my mind, my emotional state, my marriage. I want to be a mom, so that's a big thing for me. I can't wait to be a mom. I want to live on this earth, right? Like I want to make memories and have adventures. And I know we really want to get back to Salem, Massachusetts, which is where Brock proposed to me. And then New Orleans is a big one. And like, there's tons of other places we'd love to travel to, but I want to be more present in every moment that I'm actually alive. So if that's one thing this year taught us, is that life is short and it's unexpected, and I don't want to wait around for a lot of things anymore. So I think that's what's to come for me, is it's kind of unwritten, and I'll go with where it flows. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, we can't wait to see what happens.
thank you. I'll continue to
Honestly.
dance a fool on Instagram for you.
Good. Come in here and work hard. Continue as you have been. I think that might be the first sip you've taken of that. That's
Is it really?
surprising. That's
Oh,
all.
it is pretty
We'll finish it. Also,
Yeah.
not
Chug, chug,
not
chug.
sponsored, but I do love this.
She does love the grape.
Yeah, that's a staple around here.
It's just because I was yapping so much. I don't even need fuel when I'm yapping. I'm just like, go, continue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did a good job of keeping you talking, clearly.
Yeah,
That's
no
awesome.
problem with that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty, guys.
Cool. Anything you wanted to add?
Nope. Just reiterating, September 7th,
Comes to the nutrition.
Sunday, we will be here for nutrition Q&A. Again, if anybody has any questions at all, mom, sister, grandma, son, daughter, whoever it may be, aunt, uncle, everybody's welcome. Enter through the front doors. We'll be here after the gym closes, and everybody will leave from there. Cool.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see you.
Well,
Courtney.
thank you so much, Courtney,
Yes,
for
ma'am.
being
Thank
our
you.
guest today.
Thank you, guys. It's been an
All right.
honor.
Yeah. Thank
Absolutely.
you. We
Enjoyed
had a lot
chatting.
of fun.
Appreciate
All right.
everybody out there for the continued support, and we'll
Yep.
see you next time.
Right.
See ya.
Bye, guys.